Ah! Welcome back, everybody. 8-Bit Eric Show. I'm your host, not you, Fat Jesus, aka 8-Bit Eric, and today I'm going to review a classic NES game. Well, actually, I wouldn't call it classic because I've never heard of this piece of shit until I stumbled upon it when I bought a game lot from a friend. It's called Snoopy Silly Sports Spectacular. And as you can tell, my copy was not taken care of. The sticker in the front is peeled off. You can't even see Snoopy's cute little beagle ass. No homo. Snoopy's Silly Sports Spectacular for the NES by Chemco. Never heard of this game before I owned it. I just happened to stumble upon it when I bought a game lot from my friends. But in Adjust, you're Snoopy and you go through a variety of wacky, silly sports in Italy. For some reason, I don't know why it takes place in Italy. An interesting fact about this game. I heard rumor that it was supposed to be a Donald Duck game. In fact, in Japan, supposedly it's a Donald Duck game. But in the United States, they couldn't get the license from Disney, so they turned it into a Snoopy game. Which is not a bad idea, because the Peanuts roll. Charlie Brown, Linus, Peppermint Patty, you know, the whole gang. But they went and fucked it up. Because there's not one single member of the Peanuts gang on this game. Now, what doesn't make sense about this game, as I mentioned, it takes place in Italy. There's no explanation why. I don't have the manual, and I just can't comprehend why it only takes place in Italy. If it's silly sports, then why don't they just have it take place everywhere, like the Snoopy Olympics? But this was made in 1989. So let's get this piece of shit started. Well, there's two options to play. You can either play each game single, or you can go ahead and play every game back to back. For purposes of time and for this review, I will just play each game one at a time. First game I'm going to have us play is the Sack Race. Snoopy and the older Snoopy, I don't recall his name, are going to take part in a sack race across the street. And you tap button A while pushing right on the directional pad to move. You avoid the manholes and any other obstacles in the way. It's fairly simple. Towards the end, your opponent does get a second wind with help from Woodstock. But it's not much to it. It's real simple. The next event is boot throwing. Another weird, silly sport that Snoopy just seems to enjoy. The area is in front of the Colosseum in Rome. And of course, it is what it is. Boot throwing. But as you can tell, my first few couple of tries were not really successful. I honestly don't know how to control this, and it just took me over and over and over until I realized that you're supposed to rotate the D-pad counterclockwise like you would really be throwing a boot. And then when the timing's right, you push A, and you throw it high up in the air. It took me a few times to get used to this, as it was kind of awkward using the NES controller to do this. But after a few tries, it got pretty simple. But once again, the game is basically what it is. Nothing different. It's all in the name. The next event is the Pogo Jump. Basically, Snoopy jumps on a pogo stick, and you have to jump over these big wooden walls. But no matter how many times I fucking try, I can barely get past the first one, and I never, ever, rarely get past the second one. That's it. You push A to hop over, you push right or left to control Snoopy, you hop over, another simple game, not much to it, and it's still hard to control. The next game is called Overboard, where you and the older Snoopy, or whatever his name is again, I don't fucking know nor care, fight it out in Venice, Italy, on a little boat. And this game is a little hard to control too. It takes me a few tries, as you can tell. The boat tips. I don't know if anything controlled that or if there's any factors in that, but I do know that if you rush too much and you tap the A button to shove him, the computer puts up a good fight. I don't think I've even knocked him out. As you can see, he pwned me quite a couple times in this thing. And then I couldn't even beat him past the time limit. So if you don't beat him in time, you lose. You don't score anything. Not much to this. This one is actually pretty tricky. The next silly sport is the Pyro Pizza, which takes place in front of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Not pizza, but Pisa. It's pretty much straightforward. You walk to the right and you try to keep as much of the pizzas as you can. But for some reason, almost all of them knock off the first step I have. I don't know how to control this. Maybe you have to just ease your way with the with the D-pad. But for some reason, I always finish with 2 or less. You can see I've been trying it quite a couple of times to see if I can get this right. But it just seems like no matter how hard I press the D-pad, it's always going to drop the same amount of pizzas. The next event is the river jump. Basically, pole vaulting across the river. And once again, it took me a few tries to figure out how to do this. You push a button, you don't move. I tried button A, and then I realized you have to tap button A to run. So it took me quite a few times to get the hang of this. And then the timing with the stick, if you push B, he plants the stick down, and that's when you pole vault over. However, even when I do it correctly and pole vault in the river, I don't know how to get Snoopy over the river. So, once again, this is another game that I do not know how to complete on here. I've tried countless times, even times off of this gameplay footage, and I just can't seem to get it right. The gameplay on this game sucks. It's boring, the music sucks, the games suck, the control sucks. I can't beat any of the games. I can't score anything on any of the games. Snoopy Sports Spectacular, more like Snoopy Sports Shit-tacular. This game sucks. Stay away from it. I don't recommend it unless you stumble upon it buying a game lot with some great games like this one. Then it's fine to get it. But if you don't, then don't pay it, because my friend actually paid $2.99 for this piece of shit, which is overpriced. $2.99 too much. Don't even get this game if it's free. It's not that great. It's only in my collection because, once again, I got it with a bunch of other games. That's all I have for this game today. Thanks for watching. This is 8-Bit Eric. Stay sexy, and remember, masturbation is frowned upon in an airplane.